Welcome to a model steam engine test plant, part 21. Removing the live steam injector from the tub of acid, painting the upper water tank and making a freestanding steam turret to also hold a displacement lubricator. This opening clip shows the completed steam turret, and just for the record, the displacement lubricator is not wonky, it's a camera angle thing. I removed the live steam injector from the tub of acid, refilled the tub with water, and here I'm washing the parts. Even though the injector was clean, it still needed a bit of a polish. So once again, using some Brasso, I'm doing just that. It's quite difficult to actually polish small parts like this. I'm showing in this clip how I do it. I clamp a cloth in the vise, and I use the edge of the cloth to get into the nooks and crannies of small, difficult to clean parts. And sometimes I would use T-cut abrasive compound, but in this case it cleaned up quite nicely without it. I fitted a shim washer inside the adapter to make it line up properly. The last time I assembled this I used an O-ring, but it was no good. It just twisted up inside the actual hole. So here I'm applying some Loctite 542, and once I screwed the water tap in place it was a very solid job. Here's the turret, and I need to make a suitable stand for it. I'm measuring the height at which I want it to sit on the plant. I need to make a support column that is 4 inches long. On the bench at the moment next to the steel rule you can see some shim washers, and I'm using these to get exactly the right spacing between the taps and the turret, so that the taps both point downwards. First of all, I try a test fit. That seems okay, so now it's time to apply some Loctite 542 thread sealant so that the thread can never leak. I used exactly the same procedure for both taps, so here I'm showing the final one of screwing the second tap into place in the turret, and it fits perfectly. I'm using my trusty Barco spanner to tighten it into position, but I'm not using it on the black painted part, I'm using it on the brass end bit, because I didn't want to mark the paint. And while on the subject of paint, I'm now in the outer part of the workshop, spraying the upper water tank with some HMG paint satin black. This stuff is beautiful paint to use. I'm not over applying the first coat. I frequently rotate the part so I don't get any runs or sags. The video is currently running at twice normal speed. For me, watching some things in real time can be quite tedious. It's often tedious enough when you're doing the job, but particularly bad when you're watching someone else do it on a video. Here's a shot of the paint can showing the code. Believe me, this is good stuff. And now for something completely different. I'm making the support column which will hold the turret in the right position. I did a test cut on the end, and then I decided it would be a good idea to centre drill the end, followed by a twist drill. But the centre is slightly larger than the twist drill, so we'll be able to use a live centre to support the work while I turn it full length. The height of this pedestal is 4 inches, and that's not including the 1/4x40 threads per inch thread on the end of it. That will add approximately another 3/8 of an inch. I'm using my old Boxford lathe, and despite its age, the headstock bearings are in very good order. This would be fine if the part was going to be as thick as this, but I always like to apply a sense of scale and good taste. That's why I'm machining this to a sensible diameter that's in scale with the turret. This is a piece of phosphor bronze, and I had to reduce a lot of it to swarf. I could have built it up using a standard piece of bar followed by some collars silver soldered on, but I didn't want to do that. This needs to be a strong component. And the end part, which is nearest the chuck, needs to be just under 1/2 inch to screw into the turret. Once I'd got the ends to the finished size, I parted off the component. And by the sound of it, this parting tool needs sharpening. I machined the part nearly to the end and then snapped it off. The next part of the job is to turn the turret around in the chuck, and I'm gripping it in the chuck using the part that I've just turned. What I'm doing here is turning a spigot on the end, and this needs to be threaded 1/4x40, so it needs to measure exactly 1/4 inch. To verify this, frequent use of my micrometer is obvious. and eventually this part of the column is exactly 1/4 inch in diameter. Once again I turn the part around in the chuck, after cleaning the sharp edges with some wet to dry sandpaper so that I don't cut my fingers on it, and now I'm threading the end using a 2BA tap. The video is still running at double speed. You have to do this part very slowly. By being gripped in the chuck a couple of times, the main part of the column, the centre bit, is a bit marked, but holding the part in the chuck by this method is totally unacceptable. The best way to do it is to just put a 1/4x40 threads per inch nut on the thread that I've just cut. I didn't show that, by the way, as it is a very routine operation with a tailstock die holder. Now it's time to turn the centre part of the column to the diameter that I want it to be. What's the measurements? I've no idea, it just looks right. I noticed at the time that the column wasn't running 100% true, because the end of it after all is held in a union nut. But it really doesn't matter, because this part is a very low tolerance part, and if the end of it is a few thou out, it doesn't really matter. I would of course not machine it this way if the part was a high tolerance part, such as in an engine crankshaft or connecting rod or whatever. After I machined the centre part to just the size that I wanted it, I gave it an extra clean with some wet to dry sandpaper, and I think this looks okay. The final job was to apply some Loctite 542 to the 1/4x40 thread and screw the column tightly into the turret by temporarily fitting a 2BA steel bolt at the other end. I drilled a pilot hole in the baseboard, then a larger hole, and after counterboring the hole on the underside, I screwed a brass bolt in place. This holds the column very securely, and if only I'd have pressed the record button on the camera, I would have had some footage of this operation, but never mind. This is such a routine job, I went into routine mode. The final job is to bend a piece of 5/32 of an inch copper pipe, silver solder unions on the end of it, and here it is fitted between the steam outlet and the turret inlet. This is the main superheated steam pipe, so I'm going to wrap it in string. That's why I didn't polish it. Not much to do now, but that's it for the moment. Stay safe, stay healthy, thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.